Hi, thank you for joining me for this tutorial on the front of package icons and warning statements for the Mexico food labels. With the updated Mexico food labeling regulations, the FOP or front of package requirements have been completely overhauled. Where before the icons were informative, these new icons are intended to warn consumers when a product exceeds recommended intake for calories, sugars, saturated fat, trans fat, and sodium, as outlined in this table. As a side note, this table is for phase 1. Phases 2 and 3 will vary for some of the nutrients, and we will update accordingly. In this tutorial, however, I'm just going to focus on the phase 1 changes. Now, when one of these nutrients does exceed the thresholds, Genesis R&D will display the required icons more or less automatically on your label view page. So let's see how that works. This recipe has sugars that exceed the recommended threshold, and if I view the label, the icon appears automatically, as would the excess sodium and excess calories icons if those also exceeded the thresholds. Now, this is only for the New Mexico labels, so make sure you have Mexico and 2020 selected. For trans fat and sat fat, there is one more step we need to take. This recipe could qualify for one or both of the fat warning symbols if the amounts exceed the thresholds and the product contains at least one ingredient that is designated as an added fat, or fat that doesn't occur naturally in milk or meat. To do that, we have to go into the fat ingredient itself. And in this example, it's the cocoa butter. So that's in my sub-recipe here, and I can open it from the recipe by right-clicking and selecting Open Item. Navigate to Designations and find the Is Fat designation. Check that and close out. Click yes, and click OK. Let's go back over here to the label. And so yes, Genesis has done its calculations and concluded that this product has an excess amount of saturated and trans fat, which means those icons now appear. Now, regardless of which icons are required, they will always appear in the same order. And you can't change that or how the icons are laid out, except when there are 3. When there are 3 icons, you can change the layout. Let me show you how to do that. Again, go to Edit Label and select Format Options. Then here, select a vertical layout. Click OK, and now it looks like this. For small packages, they understand that it would be hard to fit a bunch of individual icons on there, so the regulations allow for an exception to that in which the icon can display a number that indicates how many nutrients exceed the threshold. Again, click Edit Label, go to Format Options, and this time select Single. Click OK. It's 3 because it exceeds the thresholds for sugars, saturated fat, and trans fat. Now we're going to look at the warning statements. Those indicate that the product contains either caffeine or a sweetener and the product is not intended for children. The caffeine warning statement appeared automatically since one or more of the ingredients contains caffeine. But for the sweetener, we need to make sure that Genesis R&D understands that one or more of the ingredients contains a qualifying sweetener. And then the regulations define those as substances different from mono and disaccharides that provide sweet flavor to products, either natural or artificial. In this case, the ingredient is sucralose. Again, we open it by right-clicking and selecting Open, and then navigate to the designation screen. This time, check Is Sweetener. Close out of this ingredient, click all the buttons, go back to the label, and we see this. Now you can also change how this is displayed in Format Options. Right-click on the object and select Edit Label. You could also have gone up to the top and clicked Edit Label, and then navigate again to Format Options, and here select Narrow Layout. Click OK, and it looks like this, the stacked option instead. You can also hide the statement. Again, go up to Edit Label, and this time select Not Shown. And click OK. And the statement has been hidden. Because you will want to use these warning images on your product packaging, Genesis R&D gives you the ability to export them as high-resolution, high-quality vector files. So let's go back to the 3 icon layout so I can show you more easily how this will work. Right-click and select Export as Vector. Navigate to where you want to save the file, make sure it's named correctly, and click OK. Then you will be able to find it, and you can open it in a vector editing software like Adobe Illustrator and edit it from there. And that concludes this tutorial. Thank you.